There is a new co-op shooter on Steam that just hit early access yesterday. It pulled in over 400,000 demo players and is already sitting at overwhelmingly positive reviews. It's got robot cowboys, magic spells, and a haunted ghost train, and somehow it actually runs on the Steam Deck. So let's get into it. What's up everyone, welcome back to Steam Flow. Today we're taking a look at Far Far West on the Steam Deck OLED. The devs were kind enough to send me an early key, so I've had some time with this before launch, and I want to give you the full picture on performance, recommended settings, and whether this game is actually worth your time on the Steam Deck. If you haven't seen this one yet, Far Far West is a 1 to 4 player co-op PvE shooter from developer Evil Raptor, and the premise is exactly as unhinged as it sounds. You are a robot cowboy, you take bounty contracts from a town sheriff, you head out into cursed haunted lands, you fight waves of undead enemies and massive bosses, and you try to get out alive with your loot. What makes this game interesting is the mix of mechanics. You've got guns, like 6-shooters, rifles, that kind of thing, western type of guns, but you also have magic spells and you can combine them mid-fight. There's a progression loop where you upgrade your loadout back in town between missions, you can pick your perk, and you can build toward different playstyles. You can get headshot focused, spell damage focused, or lean into support and healing if that's your thing. The maps have main objectives, side objectives, boss encounters, one of which is a massive haunted ghost train you have to take apart in chunks, and modifier cards you find out into the world that give you powerful mid-mission buffs. It's chaotic, it's loud, it's a bit silly, and it already has over 1000 reviews on Steam, sitting at 97% positive rating at the time of writing this. So the PC crowd has clearly taken to it. The question is, how does it actually run on the Steam Deck? I tested this game across a few different configurations on the Steam Deck OLED, and the results are actually pretty decent. They are better than I expected going in, especially for an early access launch. Now, starting at the lower end, if you set the game to the lowest settings and turn on TSR and drop the resolution scale to 50%, you got a pretty stable 70 to 80 FPS experience. Now, I know 50% resolution scale sounds terrible on paper, and normally it would be, but this is one of those games where the art style genuinely carries it and it allows it to look good even on low settings. Far Far West has a cartoony, stylized visual direction, and at 50% resolution scale on that OLED screen, it honestly doesn't look bad at all. I think the colors are really good, the character designs are pretty simplistic, and you're not sitting there squinting at muddy textures or wondering what to do to fix the hair on a character. The art direction really is doing a lot of work here and it pays off. But that's not the setting I'd actually recommend playing on. My personal sweet spot, and the one I ended up sticking with, is the medium preset as your base with a few tweaks. So I set it to medium, I turned on TSR, I set resolution scale to 50%, and then I dropped post-processing to low and particle quality to low on top of that. That combination gets you close to a stable 60 FPS in solo play and in 2-player sessions, which feels great for a shooter like this. Now, this game is very fast-paced and very chaotic. There's a lot of explosions, there's a lot of stuff happening on screen. That's why I've set particle quality to low. The place where things get more complicated with this game is 4-player co-op. When you've got a full lobby and the screen is packed with enemies, explosions, spells going off everywhere, it can drop down toward 30 FPS sometimes, depending on how heavy the chaos gets. It's not constant and it's not unplayable, but if you're planning to run full 4-player sessions regularly, just know that the Steam Deck will struggle with it. Smaller sessions are where the performance really shines, but you can still play this with 4-player co-op. Just keep in mind it's not gonna be stable 60 FPS. You can use lossless scaling if you want to, but I don't think it's a good idea to use it with such a fast-paced game, so I didn't even end up trying it. Now, battery life at my recommended settings came out to roughly 2.5 hours, maybe a touch under that, and for a co-op game, I think that's a pretty good battery life. Keep in mind, this is a co-op first game, but you can also play it solo, and you can also play it offline, which is pretty fantastic on the Steam Deck. Now, one thing worth mentioning before you jump in, controller support is sort of partial right now. In the menus, there is no full controller navigation, so you have to use the right trackpad as a mouse or maybe the touch screen. However, in-game you have full controller support and it actually shows the correct glyphs. So in-game it feels like it was built for a controller, it's just the menu situation is a rough edge, and I think that will get smoothed out. After all, this is an early access title, so these things tend to be fixed pretty fast. So in conclusion, should you buy this game and play it on your Steam Deck? If you've been looking for something in the Helldivers 2 lane, co-op, PvE chaos, mission-based structure, but you want something that runs a little bit better on handheld and has a lower barrier to entry, I think Far Far West is a genuine good option right now. It's not as deep or as polished as Helldivers, but it's early access, it's pretty fun, and the deck performance is in a good enough place that you're not fighting the hardware to enjoy it. It has launched with 10% discount this week and it's only $17.99. If co-op shooters with friends is your type of game, I think this one is easy to pick up. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, consider joining the Steam group and follow the SteamFlow curator page where I share these types of performance breakdowns for every game I test on the Steam Deck. Thank you guys for watching and I'll see you in the next video.